7 Fish and Sea here. I'm headed to a lake to do some fishing today, and it should be a pretty, who knows. It's still early in the year. It'll be fun no matter what. It's 65, so I'm ready to get out and do some fishing. I tried turkey hunting the other day, didn't see any birds, so now it's time to fish, and we're gonna go turkey hunting tomorrow morning. So we'll fish tonight, maybe get a bird tomorrow. Should be the best of both worlds. We'll catch you out there on the water. It was too windy when I filmed to narrate, and now when I'm filming this video, it's super windy out, and I have a feeling like we're gonna also have some wind issues. I did a turkey hunting video this morning, and that was butchered by the wind too, so excellent, wonderful. Wind is great, right? So what we did, my dad and I went fishing the other day, and we jumped around quite a bit. Probably went to the 5th or 6th spot until we finally caught fish. And how we caught fish, I started with my normal crappie jig. Well, I started with one of my custom crappie jigs, and then I started with a normal crappie jig that I generally reuse, or use all the time. And then I started biting its tail down so it's shorter and shorter and shorter. And finally, I ended up downsizing the jig head. I was running a 1/32 ounce with a 2-inch tail. That 2-inch tail became a 1.5. That 1.5 became 1.25, down to 1, down to 3/4 of an inch. And then after I went down all of that, I switched my jig size down even smaller to one of the ice fishing jigs. I'm going this little.
Oh my.
I don't know if I can cast it, but I think it'll work. And the ice fishing jig was the smallest ice fishing jig you'll ever find. I don't know the size, I just know that it's half the size of my pinky fingernail. Super itty bitty hook on there, just a little silver, and I bit off a little piece of white plastic from one of my twister tails, and that little white piece it was probably the size of a white spike, and that did the trick. If I had spikes or wax worms, it probably worked great, but because it was so light, I was only able to cast here to 5, 6, 7 feet out. I'm downsizing so much. Oh, yes. It worked, Dad. First cast. Oh my gosh. Small is the key. No, I was going to if I couldn't cast it, but all I need to do is cast it a few feet. I watched them come up and grab it. Because those fish were right on the bank. Now, with them being right on the bank, that jig just hit the water and slowly fell because it was such a small jig. And that was the key to catching these fish, because the jig was so small, it just slowly fell. The fish came up and grabbed it. I saw a lot of these fish come up and grab it. The small ones, we averaged probably 4 or 5 inch crappie was probably the average, probably right at 4 to 5 inches. The biggest crappie of the day was probably 8, 8.5. So not a stellar day for size, but a stellar day for numbers. Towards the end, we probably caught a fish almost every little flip out. And I would say flip instead of casting, because I was literally just flipping my bait right in the water. And as soon as I had one, I could almost just lift the rod up. So it's fun to get out and catch numbers like that, especially in early spring when the water's cold and usually it's kind of hard to catch fish. So my tips for catching early crappie: 1, don't be afraid to downsize. Crappie feed up, as I've talked about in other videos. So by going smaller in size, that bait slowly drops when that fish is able to come up and grab it, versus if you're running an 1/8 ounce jig, boom, instantly sinks to the bottom. Now if they're on the bottom, great, but these fish weren't really biting on the bottom. They came up to the top and surface and grabbed that. So that is my tip. 1, downsizing. 2, trying a lot of different spots. If you don't catch fish within the first 5 minutes, move. Go to the next, go to the next, go to the next. We found this back little cove, which was kind of on semi-part northern end of one part of the lake. And in that back little cove, the water was shallow, which means 1, it's gonna be a little warmer. 2, with it being a northern side, right now where the sun is positioned this time of the year, that's where the sun is beating down the most all day long. So 1, the sun is warming that water. 2, the water's shallow. 3, the crappie are moving up in that shallow water. And 4, I use small presentation to help lure in those fish, and it seemed to work great. Unfortunately around here, some lakes got shut down due to coronavirus. That's not going to stop us. If the state lakes get shut down, it may throw a little damper on things, but as of now, we're going to keep fishing state lakes, maybe fish some private bodies of water too for you, because that may be where we have to end up. Less people, the better. We're staying 6 feet away. Today I was turkey hunting, and I was definitely 6 feet away from the other party out. So, wonderful time of the year. Keep fishing. Stay safe. Stay healthy, drink a lot of water, and get on the water when you can. Thanks, guys. We'll catch you Tuesday for a Tip Tuesday, and then next Friday once again.